Sorry about that. Good morning, and welcome to Roasted Chessnuts, father and son chess team, where we play analog chess. What's wrong?
Nothing.
And talk about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And we try to make it have something to do with chess, which, by the way, that George Clooney movie I watched last night, which we're not going to talk about today, but I did watch that Netflix George Clooney last night that he directed and starred in. And it is interesting, let's say, but he plays a little chess by himself, with himself, on himself. Oh, which brings us to next week. Indy's probably going to be gone, and I'm going to watch what's that Pixar movie? The short where the guy plays the chess with himself?
Pixar short where the guy plays chess.
I'm going to watch the Pixar short where the guy plays chess with himself. Then I'm going to play a round of chess with myself, off the record, off the score sheet. Speaking of the score sheet,
yeah, I don't know. I thought we had there is actually one right over there on the chair. I was gonna say I looked around briefly, but his head. All right, he's at a disadvantage.
fresh off the printer, score sheet. Bottom line is I'm up by one game right now.
Yep. Just one.
And so we begin. We play 3 rounds.
Yeah.
2 off the clock.
First 2 casual. We talk about the movies of the week, and then get a piece of tape. And then the third round we play on the clock for serious competition.
Yes. And then we tally it all up. And here's check this out. Boom! There are our scores, if you're looking, for the up by 1 game. Okay. Let's jump in.
All right. So this week we watched the Bill and Ted movies, all 3 of them.
Yes.
I've never really seen them. One of them had a brief chess moment, so we're in the clear there.
Well, the reason we were drawn into them was because Bill and Ted 2 is a chess match with death, which...
It's not a chess match.
Oh, it's not a chess match. No, it's a game challenge.
Yeah, they have to challenge him in some competition.
Yeah.
And
well,
first they choose Battleship.
Yes. Pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
Very funny. I mean, well, let's start with Bill and Ted 1.
Yes.
Bill and Ted 1, it seemed like, I mean, looking back, to 1989, I saw Bill and Ted 1 in the theater when I was whatever. And I'll just say it, I didn't love it at the time. Mm-hmm. It was, to me, I didn't quite get it. Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to be a late teenage, late high school. Maybe I was in 11th grade. But I'm trying to, understand film,
Yeah.
And this movie was just I was like, what? But looking back, watching it again, it does so much. It gets so much right. It's really undeniable. It's a solid film.
Yeah.
But also just really weird.
Very weird.
And not just weird in the sense of it introduced a lot of previously unheard slang.
Yes.
Which is the thing I kind of most remembered the movie for, and the thing that I most remember enjoying about it was that that slang fest. That pretty much illogical set of slang that they're constantly throwing down.
Yeah.
But it really works. Check. Well, okay, let's talk about let's go over quick. What's the main gist of the storyline? The main gist is Bill and Ted, who you know who they are.
Yep.
They have to they have to get an assignment done for school.
Yeah, they have to get an A on their history report.
Or they're gonna fail.
Or they're gonna flunk the class.
And Ted's gonna wind up in military school.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Bill's just gonna have to spend the rest of his life with his stepmom.
Yep.
Missy, who's a great character, shows up through the movies. Missy is married to Ted's dad, but she went to high school. I mean, Bill's dad, but she went to high school with them.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ahead. Remember when I asked your mom to the prom, Bill? Shut up, Ted. Yeah, so that goes like that. You got me in a bind, in a pickle. It's not too many. There aren't too many great options for my queen right here. I was a little aggressive. I'm about to be a lot aggressive, so. So yeah, they're about to flunk out, and then what? Randomly?
Well, not randomly. The guys from the future, they have to go back in time to ensure that Bill and Ted don't flunk their history exam, because then they'll be separated and they won't be able to write the song.
Oh, okay, got it. Check. Oh, damn. I was getting a little aggressive, as you said. Yeah, a guy shows up and says, basically, this is a key moment in history.
Yeah.
You guys can't fuck this up. So, like, let me give you this time machine, and...
Well, they're destined to write a song that's going to bring the world together. And
is that from the first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Utopian society.
Right.
It's basically based around their lifestyle.
Right.
And it's like these fancy
mottos.
future dudes, but they're talking in like the slang, and it's like, remember, when you do your homework tonight, do not forget to do, don't do it without headphones on.
Right. It's a lot of be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Their main motto is party on, dudes.
Yeah.
Their main salute is like.
Yeah.
And, I come from a long line of air guitarists, by the way. That's why that was so good.
Right.
Grandpa Jim.
Mm-hmm.
That guy knew how to throw down. He still does, probably.
Uh-huh.
Haven't seen him in this quarantine era, but I'm sure he's at home right now, throwing it up in the air,
out.
waiting for it to come down, continuing on. That was his classic move, baby. I don't know if he came up with that himself.
Uh-huh. It's funny.
Yeah, a lot of air guitar.
Yep.
A little bit of real guitar. I never realized that they were really bad at playing. Do we have any watchers?
Yeah, one viewer.
I never realized how. Should we check our stream real quick and make sure it's rocking out? Yeah, I never realized that they were like they had no songs.
Yeah.
They had no nothing.
Here, I got this. Keep entertaining the camera.
All right. So they really go through history, pick up various historical figures for their school presentation, and spoiler alert.
We got 2 viewers.
All right, what? Oh, that was you that just kicked in there.
Well, that was Maggie and someone else.
Oh, Stealth. Hi, Stealth.
Stealth.
Hi, Maggie Mags. Good to have you. Any thoughts on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure are more than welcome. So anyway, what else should we say about that first movie?
I mean, it was awesome. It was pretty tight. I think the rules were pretty loose, but they mostly stuck to them.
Time travel rules?
Yeah.
Look, the idea that at some point a knight kind of banged against the side of their time machine.
I don't know if that was it.
And then it was malfunctioning at the antenna level on the roof. The antenna, by the way, which was a stripped down umbrella.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you going to say? It was enjoyable. Yeah, the time travel stuff was pretty on point. They did an interesting thing with the time travel stuff in the third one.
Yeah.
I thought was quite fascinating.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
But so they're going through history, picking up.
They pick up Napoleon kind of first, and Joan of Arc, and Socrates, and anyway, whatever. They bring them all back. They kind of bring them to the mall.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, their history presentations are being done at an auditorium in the mall.
Wait. Oh.
Which I learned was a reshoot.
Okay.
Because I guess the original ending just took place in the classroom, and it wasn't very interesting. Because you know how it's like, there's the lights and Beethoven's, jamming out on those keyboards, and you got Joan of Arc doing some flips or something.
Right.
Yeah, apparently in the classroom scene, it just wasn't very visually interesting. And so...
I thought that was the school auditorium the whole time.
No, it was at the mall. I think.
Okay. I mean, that would explain why they were even at the mall. Because it was like this diversion where half...
It was the school auditorium. Okay, so why were they at the mall? It seemed like they were like, we have to get to the mall right now.
I think they were just... I don't know. Meg, any idea why they were at the mall?
Experience?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
They just wanted to show them around?
Yeah.
All right.
It's at the auditorium of the school. Stealth knows. Okay, my turn?
Yep.
Ooh. That was tricky.
Pretty tricky, right?
Yeah.
I would have checkmated you on the next move if you hadn't done that.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to put my queen here.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been done for.
My lack of escape hatch has murdered me in the past.
Yeah. But, I loved Bill and Ted 1. I mean, the thing it's so... It was just sweet. These two guys are very sweet, very innocent. They're, like, not...
They're not out to hurt anybody.
They're not out to hurt anybody. They're really not... Like, they're not, like, getting picked on at school or anything, They're not really... Don't really have those kinds of problems.
They're just not compatible with society because they're too innocent or something. The report was, what would historical figures think of San Dimas? And that is interesting because throughout especially the third movie, like, so much of it is San Dimas through the ages.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the first movie. What else?
What else? So you had the princesses.
Oh, yeah.
Who were like...
Check. Yeah, those princesses. They seemed like side characters, but they turned out to be crucial elements.
They were kind of side characters, though.
Well, in the first one.
Yeah. Well, in all of them.
It seemed like they were pretty important by the end.
Well, it seemed like in the third one, I don't know, like they cut out some storyline from the script or something. Like, I don't know, it seemed like there was a storyline they were supposed to be having in the background, but then it wasn't really addressed that much.
I just felt instinctually it was the right time to move that pawn out, man. It saved my ass. Check. What I thought was fascinating about that first movie was it was almost like minimalist filmmaking in the sense that, like, they didn't really worry about motivating stuff. Like, if they needed a person to surprise somebody, they just had them come from around the corner.
Yeah.
It was like there was no setup on how they got there. There were no like POV shots of somebody looking through the bushes or like whatever. The person would just appear.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I was saying like Napoleon coming out of the tree. Even by the third movie, they were doing a lot more of like Napoleon's stuck up in this tree for this whole scene.
Yeah.
And rather than like showing a close up of his straps starting to loosen or the branch starting to break and then the conversation's going on and like he's getting more worried on his face or whatever. It just like by the end of the scene when they needed him to fall out of the tree, they just had him fall out of the tree. And they didn't really worry about like overly motivating things or it was cool that way. I thought it was a good example of just stripped down. All right, is it you?
It's you.
Is it me?
Yes.
What was your last move?
By camp, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a good move.
Thank you. And Solomon also wrote Men in Black. I didn't know that. Thank you, Maggie. I love Men in Black, the movie.
Really? Thank you, Stealth, for that link. Thank you, Maggie.
I think that might be it.
No.
Yeah. I don't have anywhere I can go.
Oh shit! I would have toyed with you a little. No, it's not. It's not like that. It is not like that. I've got, as you can see, Indy has destroyed me through most of this process. Can you see that?
We were mostly tied.
Yeah, we're mostly tied. All right. Now Old Fordley is up by 2 games.
These might be our last games of the month.
Yeah, they might be. Okay.
All right, switch sides.
Yeah.
So Bill and Ted 2, I really like. I don't think I liked it as much as the first one, but I like the idea of it being so different. Like it wasn't just another
Adventure
time travel,
in the
grabbing different historical figures for a different reason. It was a completely different thing. It was like crazy afterlife stuff. I mean, it was a lot more visual.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Some crazy sets. Like, I feel like a sequel, a typical sequel, would have just been the same thing.
Yeah.
Or like maybe they go into the future this time or something.
Yeah.
You know, like Back to the Future 2, or
Men in Black 2, I guess.
Time travel wasn't. Yeah.
Back to the Future 2, yeah. That is what you're expecting.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future 2 does a great job of what it's doing.
Yes.
And if you're going to go that way, it's great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this one went in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like the whole movie they had to come back from basically being dead, or no? That was just part of it.
That was like the first half.
Uh-huh.
And then
It got confusing because they were pale as ghosts.
Yeah.
As dead guys for a while there. And then on one scene, they just were full color again, even though they were still dead.
Were they?
Yes. It was a little like, okay, I guess they just decided.
That was like once they got
this
back,
is too
once
much
they got
to
to
maintain.
hell or something.
Not.
And then, but I think they were when they
Before
were in
they
the
were
real
back in their
world.
bodies.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they were in full color. They were only like in partial color for like a third.
You're thinking of the robots.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole reason we were watching these movies is because we watched The Seventh Seal last week. If you were watching us last week, we talked about The Seventh Seal. And the idea in Bill and Ted 2 is that death comes along and plays them for an extension of their life or whatever. And
he says nobody's ever beat me before.
Yeah.
And then they're playing Battleship with him and they beat him on the first round.
Yeah.
And he's like, best 2 out of 3.
Yes.
And he keeps making him play, they keep beating him.
Yeah. Did you notice in the third one he was saying to somebody like, all right, best 874th out of 1,000 or something like that?
He's playing hopscotch against himself. And then they were like, dude, he's cheating.
You think they totally threw him off his game? Like for millennia, he'd been winning until those guys showed up. And the funny thing was they didn't exactly play like games of skill particularly.
Yeah. No, pretty random stuff. Twister, Battleship.
Right.
Yeah, what else did they play? Like,
Twister, Battleship. Yes, the building of the robots. Oh, I was not going to forget Station. I was getting to that. But what were they played Twister, they played Battleship.
What else did they play, Maggie?
What else did they play, guys? Anyway, Bill and Ted roundly defeated death in each one, so I guess he just became part of their crew?
Yeah, he sent them to heaven. Oh, yeah, no, he was like, I'll return you to your bodies, and then they asked him for some help, and he was just like, well, I am required to do your bidding or something. So he takes them to heaven to meet the greatest scientists of all time.
That was just insane.
To build robots, to build good robots, to fight the evil robots. Clue, that's right. Clue.
Oh, yes! He's standing over there, studying it. He totally thinks he's got it. Clue. I didn't know why you started shouting Clue, because I also recently watched both Tron movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which includes a character named Clue.
And Clue.
And Clue. I have watched Clue within the last year.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yes. Clue is it the evil Jeff Bridges?
Whoa! Staring down the barrel of a queen-to-queen confrontation?
Yep. Queen-on-queen action.
Anyway, so then we were like, oh my god, they don't play freaking chess in this movie. They don't play chess against death. This doesn't even happen, which is smart that they didn't do that.
Yeah, it was funnier that they...
Yes.
It wouldn't make sense if they were good at chess, I think.
No, it's along the lines of Homer being good at chess, which is great. Oh, yeah, we watched that too. We watched a father and son chess Simpsons.
Yeah.
Which is highly recommended. That came on our number one fan, Maggie Friedman's recommendation. Simpsons father and son chess, which was like the third to the most recently released episode of The Simpsons, right? Wasn't it?
I think it was a couple seasons back.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I could be wrong.
Check. But radical. But there was a moment of chess nonetheless.
Yeah, when they're in heaven, when they go up to heaven. There's like a wide shot, and you can see in the top right corner, Marilyn Monroe is playing chess with someone.
Can't quite, not sure who she's playing with, but yes, Marilyn Monroe on the whites and blacks, as we say.
Yeah. So even though Bill and Ted 2 was not as tight as Bill and Ted 1, I really appreciated how different it was and how much they took it there with the Bill and Ted universe.
Yeah. So when they're in heaven, inexplicably, there are some aliens in heaven and some creatures.
There's the station, and then there's one other guy that walks by in the background or something.
It's mostly humans.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they come across this creature that they call Station. Now, Bill and Ted, season 28. Anyway. Bill and Ted, as we mentioned earlier, is very much about the slang, and so it's there was one time in the movie, mid movie, where they say the word station.
I think that was the robots.
What, the robots say station?
Yeah.
No, they say it as slang. Oh, the evil ones do?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, they recruit the best scientists in the universe, which is these two furry puppets, these super elves. Bless you. What?
It's right in front of me.
Super elves. And hold on. It's time to focus. TTF. They recruit back. Okay, the villains in Bill and Ted 2 are these two evil robots that are sent back from the future by this warmongering, non-peaceful dude.
He doesn't like their chill religion.
He's most unrighteous or something.
Yes.
And he sends back two evil robot Bill and Ted's, who I thought were going to get converted to the good side.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought these guys aren't going to be able to hold up against this powerful ethos. Your turn, right?
Yes.
And but anyway, they're the ones that kill Bill and Ted, wind them up in the afterlife. Oh. And And so the reason they want to get some big scientists is so that they can build counter robots to defeat the robots that have defeated them. And they employ the services of this, like, you know, intergalactically renowned pair of puppets that they call Station, or that calls itself Station. I can't tell. I
thought I read something. It was like something they cut a. There was a scene in the script that was set in the police station, and then they deleted.
What?
They deleted the scene. They deleted the whole scene from the script, but the word "station" was still there. Accidentally.
No.
It was just left there in the middle of the script, as a typo, and then somebody read it during a table read or something. They were like, "Station," and then they thought it was...
Are you serious right now?
That's what I heard.
Oh,
they thought it was funny,
God.
so they just put it in as slang.
Waves from the porch. Friedman, waves from the porch.
What?
That is an inside joke from a TV show that I worked on with Maggie Friedman called No Tomorrow, where a line was left in from a scrap. Waves from the porch. Oh no, it was a scene direction that wound up in a dialogue line. Waves from the porch. So the person is in the bathtub ranting, and she just goes, "Waves from the porch," and it's like, wait, why did she say "waves from the porch"? That was a screen direction.
But
and I just want to point out that was not Maggie Freeman's oversight. She was not involved in that part of it. Damn it!
What?
Well, this is not the move I should be making, but I've made it nonetheless.
Maybe. Check.
Yes. Correct.
Checkmate.
No. There aren't too many options for me right now. I could do the classic, what we call the Jack's Gambit, where... shit.
We flip the board over?
Yes! Oops.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, more like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine. Out of business. Out of business.
Well, we should talk about Bill and Ted 3 real quick before we get into our final match.
Yes, true. Good point. Not involved. Yes, you're welcome, Maggie. Not involved in Waves from the Porch. I can't quite remember if that made it to air either. If it got anyway.
All right.
Okay.
Stealth doesn't care about this.
Stealth. Yeah. So let's talk about Station one more time.
All right.
So Station, yes, as Maggie pointed out, they get to Earth with Station, and at some point they get all worked up, and they start almost
once they get the supplies to build the robots, they're at a Home Depot or something.
Yes.
And they get all the supplies, and then once they're ready to build the robots, they start going crazy, and they run into each other, and they meld into one.
They rev up in the parking lot. They're like a bull,
Yeah.
Sure. And Bill and Ted are kind of Station. It's cool. They refer to both of them as Station in the singular.
Sometimes they call them the stations.
Anyway, so you're just like, what the hell are these two up to? And they're just looking at each other, kind of growling and making alien noises, and then they just run towards each other and boom, crash into each other. And then they're just there's some great effects. It's a shot of them on the ground in a ball of fur and slime, kind of like a couple of gremlins, giant gremlins. And
Oh, Julian's here.
J-Duck! And then it's a giant. They turn into a giant version of what the two.
Which I don't think makes a lot of sense because they have to build these robots in the back of the van. I feel like two tiny guys.
They got to build two robots in the back of the van really fast.
And the guy's like cramped back there.
He's doing it all himself. He's welding.
Yeah.
He's soldering. He's wiring circuits. And although they spend the most time opening boxes for some reason, I don't know if you noticed that, just tearing boxes open. But anyway, but then it's just him in the back with all these tools building some pretty sweet Bill and Ted robots. I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna say?
It's supposed to look bad.
At some point, the robots are like outside of the van that they were just created in, and it's like it's like puppet robots. Yeah. And so you can kind of like see through their kind of arms and stuff like that, and you can see the wiring. And then like the next shot, they're running it's like clearly two humans in robot suits that are similar.
I like how it was like a whole build up to fighting these evil Bill and Ted robots.
Yeah.
And then the good robots just punch their heads off immediately. There's like no fight or anything.
Right.
And it's just over.
Yeah. And then it's a second battle of the bands, you know? It's
Oh yeah, Pam Grier is in it.
There are two minds. Oh yeah, Pam Grier is in it. And man, I don't know. I thought it was a little bit of that didn't make that much sense. In the sense that Pam Grier was running the Battle of the Bands. Mm-hmm. And it was clearly the 4th annual Battle of the Bands, and people from all over the place were recognizing Pam Grier as the MC. They weren't like, who is this alien from another planet? But then, when her skin came off, or somebody from the future or past, and it turned out to be Rufus.
It needs to make sense.
Their two minds aren't strong enough separately? Alright, I'll buy that. That it was worth losing 2 arms and 2 sets of eyes in that project to combine the minds strong enough to build these robots of Bill and Ted, to fight the other robots of Bill and Ted. That worked. Alright, should we move to the controversial? Well, so, what happens at the end?
Well, then the band becomes successful. They have babies, little Bill, little Ted.
Yeah, they're in like backpacks.
Yeah, and then they kind of write that off. Like in the third one, when the kids turn out to be girls instead of boys, they're just like, those were nicknames, Bill and Ted.
Oh no, I thought they just named them Bill and
Ted.
Ted.
They're like Billy and Thea or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, they were gonna name their kids Bill and Ted no matter what. Like, you know, they were gonna name their kid after the other one, no matter what the kids were born. You know.
So let's talk about the third one.
Kind of like George Foreman.
Bill and Ted Face the Music, released last year. I really liked it. Speaking of the daughters, I really liked their relationship with the daughters. How it was like the daughters were just little Bill and Teds. They weren't like, there was no scene where it was like, you know, Dad, you gotta get it together, and you know,
right?
They're like, oh, our daughters aren't connecting with us or whatever.
No, they were in lockstep. They were like the same.
They were exactly the same.
The kids got them. The kids got them better than their wives. The kids got them better than anybody in society. Any other characters, their kids were like, you know, and they were like super music experts. Like they had just grown up, steeped in Bill and Tedness. It
was awesome. I loved, especially the Keanu's daughter. Looked exactly like 90s Keanu.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was crazy. She was awesome.
Yeah.
I liked Samara Weaving, not as much, but I like her in other stuff. I thought Keanu wasn't that great in it.
Oh.
I think...
Uh-oh, here it comes. Let's see. Perhaps Rufus took on the form of somebody who actually existed. Yeah, I can see that on the Pam Grier thing, not to jump back, but like...
Isn't that what it was?
It was, but like, then isn't everybody in town like, wait a minute, what happened to the person who existed? What happened to the Pam Grier?
What happened to...
When Rufus unzips from Pam Grier...
Relax, what kind of movie are you talking about?
Isn't the whole town like, what have you done with Pam Grier?
Isn't the whole town like, why are aliens and robots showing up from the future and you're playing band with death? What? Anyway... Keanu, in the third one, I feel like between the last Bill and Ted movie, he's gone through so much personally, and so much, his persona, his on-screen persona has changed so much, that he's not Ted anymore. He's just, like, Keanu is like, after, everything he went through, he's like zenned out, like kind of not in the Ted way.
You're saying
like,
he can't rise to an emotional
right.
space
Yeah.
beyond like Neo
right.
or John Wick?
He's just a little bit like, I don't know.
She's locked in a supply closet.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess.
Why are you hung up on this?
Why do you feel... Okay, Friedman, how do you feel about that take on Keanu's current space? His emotional / performance space?
It was a little bit like... In the first one, in the first two, he would be like, and party on, dudes! And this one, it was a little bit more like, and party on, dudes.
I see what you're saying. I see the subtle difference.
Yeah.
No, I do see what you're saying. It's
Maggie agrees.
Oh, she does agree.
I thought Alex Winter was great. I thought he was right. I thought he hit his stride right away.
Yes.
Like he was Bill immediately.
I don't know. Look, Keanu was Ted throughout the movies was the guy who wasn't like thinking more deeply about stuff, but he was more worried about stuff. And so maybe
just a little
the
bit.
burden of the years was different on him.
He's also the one who
he's also the one who turned to alcohol.
You're right. But yeah, I guess there was a one scene towards the beginning where he was like, I can get 4,600 for the Les Paul or whatever.
Yeah.
But
6,400. Yeah.
That was, I don't know. I feel like they could have played it a little bit more like he's lost his Ted mojo.
Yeah. He was always a little more practical. In each movie, he's the guy saying, Bill, I don't know if this is such a good idea. And then Bill's like, oh, come on, dude. If we're going to have an adventure, we're not going to have an adventure.
Yeah.
That robot, I didn't really like at first, but he turned out to be kind of fun by the end.
He was fun by the end. He reminded me a lot of Death. In that, like he was like he was a villain, but then he turned out to be a goofy guy that just wanted to hang out or whatever.
I thought they took Death up several notches in the third one in a great way. I thought he was hilarious as like a supreme bass player, and when they're just visiting with him and what did they do that made him like retreat to his room or retreat into his apartment, and then they come in and he's just in bass with the headphones on with his back to them. So perfect. Oh, God. Yeah, and Kristen Shaw, who I love, I thought was great, but I just didn't feel like... I didn't understand...
Oh, yeah.
Why she would kept showing up and doing stuff.
Was
but I love the stuff with the wives. The couples therapy stuff was hilarity.
They couldn't say I love you. They kept having to say we love you guys.
Yeah,
that was all they could say.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah,
very good. And so but the larger premise of this one was
well, they're older now. They've been trying to write. The bands kind of fell on their face.
Yeah,
they had like a couple hits in the '90s, and then they fell off. And they know it's their responsibility still to...
Nice.
Okay. Anyway, they know it's their responsibility to write the song that's going to unite the world, but they still haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And they're old, they're in their 50s or whatever.
They're feeling the burden.
Yeah.
Like, we got to write this song. It's up to us to, save the universe or whatever. And at some point in our career, we've got to write this...
And then space and time starts folding in on itself.
Oh, that's right.
Different.
Probably because of weird things they'd set in motion in the previous movies, perhaps.
Yeah, isn't that? I think that's what the daughter said at the beginning or something.
Okay.
They were doing their narration, but
Kid Cudi shows up in an interesting way.
Yeah,
and like Cutie Cudi, and he's got like. He's like an expert on time space, so he's got all the theories nailed down about like what could be happening, and what could be to come, which I thought was a fascinating take on time. We were talking about this a little bit, time travel, which usually kind of pretends that whatever theory of time travel they're working with is an accepted, like even if it's otherwise a realistic movie, except for the time travel stuff, they pretend that all other options of time travel don't really exist. So like having a time travel expert in the middle of the movie kind of saying, well, if it's a string theory, it could go this way. If it's that, it could go that way. That was really cool, although a little confusing.
Yeah. I will say not even in a bad way, but the daughter's storyline was a bit of a rehash of Bill and Ted 1. in a way. You know, they were just going through history, grabbing different figures.
Yeah.
I mean, they were musicians instead, but I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all. I liked them. They were hilarious. It was nice to have some youthful energy.
Big time.
Needed that.
Yeah. I actually thought they were going to be even more central. It was
Yeah.
kind of 50-50 with them and the grown-ups. But the premise was they had to basically form a super band to make, they weren't sure how they were going to make the greatest song ever, but they had to get to it because
they just wanted to help out in some way.
Time space was falling apart. And so they wind up in a version of the Time Machine, and they collect historical musicians, which I thought was a great take on it all. What did they start with? Jimi Hendrix and then Louis B. Armstrong?
To get Jimi Hendrix, and then they can't get him, so somehow they go and get Louis Armstrong, and then Louis Armstrong convinces Jimi Hendrix.
Armstrong sees Jimi Hendrix on an iPhone, and he loves it. He loves the iPhone. He looks at the back of the phone like, where is this coming from? And he's game. He is like in... And
it's like heyday Louis Armstrong. It's like 1920s Louis Armstrong.
They're debating which era they should get him from. Anyway, they get Hendrix. They get Mozart.
There's that scene where they're outside Mozart's apartment, and he's playing, and then Jimi Hendrix is outside like matching the song, and Mozart's starting to get annoyed. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. D4. Logic Engine. Oh.
All right. Well, we do have to get back to the chess in a minute, but I love Bill and Ted 3. It was uplifting. I had a huge smile on my face through the whole finale when they were getting the whole universe and all across all time and space to play the song together. It didn't make any sense, but it was like they were saying infinite versions of themselves are existing at once to pass off the instruments. It still didn't make sense.
That part was...
But it was fine. It was fine.
Instruments across the whole world. I mean, people don't know how to play instruments. But whatever. Okay, I've said this before on this chess show. We are not experts to the degree that we know all of the D4s and Queen 4s. But is this D or is this D?
I think your king is D.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right.
I'm gonna take Logic Engine's first move.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do this one for Logic Engine.
You ready?
Okay, so this is our time. This is our third round. Mm-hmm. We've each won one today so far. Mm-hmm. Indy's one game behind overall, but we're tied for today. If Indy wins this one, we're tied up for the whole thing. Yeah. And we're doing like basically 10 minutes on the timer, 10 minutes each. Yeah. Lightning round, and we'll still keep talking about Bill and Ted, maybe a few other things. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
I like that move.
Yeah.
That takes dude, this kid F's me with this he's a late game castler. And if he puts me in a corner up here with these pawns, then I gotta do something. I gotta represent. All right. Check. Check. Not my slickest of moves. Oh, dang, I really screwed myself. Logic! What have I done? I took your solid opening, and I
don't think you did.
What?
Well, he said once you made the move, he said D4, so I think you might have.
Oh crap!
Not taking this.
I tried. Yeah. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there on that stuff. That was a mistake. Mm-hmm. That was another mistake.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
The neighborhood dogs would like to chime in.
Their opinion on Bill and Ted.
messing with me? Why are you messing with me?
What do you mean messing with
You're
you?
messing around. God. Look, I appreciate it. I appreciate a queen sacrifice as much as the next person. But no one is effing with my own mojo. My own schemes. My own dreams. Locked it up. All right, Maggie, if you're still on, I'm curious about your thoughts on the daughter storyline.
I really liked when the Bill and Ted from the future were in Dave Grohl's house trying to trick their past selves into thinking they'd made it.
With the buckets on their heads?
Oh my god. No, I mean, I like the scheme that the older ones were playing.
Yes!
That was so funny.
Dave Grohl shows up for one shot?
Yeah. And they were like, we gotta do something we can't remember.
Yes.
So they put buckets on their heads and spin around and run away so they can't remember where they went.
I've never seen that in a time travel thing. That was an insane choice. She didn't buy the impressions. Okay. I think that's totally valid. I hear that.
I didn't buy Samara Weaving as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was almost... I don't want to diss. But yeah. It was almost like Bill was faded back a little bit by halfway through the movie as far as the girls go.
Bill,
daughter Bill, the daughter of Bill, which I guess is Ted.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, because they named...
Right.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Because they named them after each other, which is so sweet.
It's so sweet.
And just absurd. Just so absurd. Oh man, he's coming down the line here on me.
That's right.
I can't waste resources on this crap.
Queen me.
Crap!
Queen me.
I have completely effed up.
Queen me, baby. Queen me!
Say it. Check. Oh man, things are looking bad. Things are looking Trey bad. Things are looking, as they say in the movies, super bad. What are we getting over there?
Maggie likes the historical figures they went to get, but she doesn't know.
Okay. No, I hear you, Friedman. You know. So, what's your favorite, Maggie? One or two?
And everyone in the comments, name your favorite Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah. Also, if it's not too late for me to win, throw down some potential moves for me. Oh, she likes one. She likes one. I liked one a lot this time, and more recent times I've seen it, but I just remember seeing it in the theater originally and being like, I don't get it. I don't get this. You know?
Yeah. Alright, that did not help me much. Thought 3 was underbaked.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little tightening up could have worked for it, but I mean, I guess that's true for the whole thing.
Yeah. I thought it was tighter than the second one. The second one was a little more random.
Yeah. It did get wild when they were just in hell in the third one, and things did get crazy. But no more so than when Station showed up. Things were pretty crazy around then, too.
Yeah. Right. You're on the clock here.
Yeah, I'm going to lose.
All right, well then...
Okay, fine. All right, then lose.
Yes, exactly.
Check. All right, we're gonna
What?
we're gonna get out of this mess.
Yeah.
We are.
Got about 90 seconds, so... Better hop to it. Check. Check. Makes sense.
Nice.
There you go.
Dude, I think these clocks might be wound.
Okay.
We're gonna calibrate these clocks this week. Something's up. Yes, Maggie, I like that too. When they were in prison, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was amazing. What the frick? This is a nightmare. Whoops. Oh, shit. Oh, man, am I in a stalemate?
No.
Yes, I am.
What are you talking about here?
Damn it! Trying to stalemate. Wait, now I'm in a stalemate.
Oh my god, what are you talking
all right,
about?
All right.
Dude, come on.
I'm trying to stalemate myself out of this.
Checkmate.
Dude, historians are going to review that game for centuries. I don't know I don't know what went wrong there. We're going to review big time, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So, speaking of reviews, what else we want to talk about with the Bill and Ted before we log off? Where are we at? Oh, it's already been an hour.
Right.
So like.
So wait, we tied for the month. That was our last game of the month, and
Holy
we tied
shit!
again.
Again?
Yeah.
Where's the pen?
We tied both months.
That's insane. I mean, it is insane. So wait, what was it? Fordley, Indy?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This is mind-boggling. I mean, here's the truth is, Indy and I have mostly only ever played each other. I mean, Indy had a chess class in elementary school. Oh, yeah. And, hey, we're going to let this run, but check out how this clock works. It's pretty sweet. The last 2 minutes, the red one goes from 0 to 1. Then it goes back down to 0. And then it drops in a really sweet way. That's when the time is up, is when when it drops. But you'll see that in about 60 seconds if we're still going. But yeah, we're tied up, man, for the 2 months. Indy and I, father and son chess team, or competitors. We're not on the same team. And maybe squad.
Yeah.
And we've mostly only ever played each other. But it's insane that this is how that turns out.
I know.
It's insane that, we're tied up. So on today's, the top line there, 123, it went Indy, Fordley, Indy, which tied us up for January. And if you look down here, we were tied up for December. Mm-hmm. It's completely insane. It's completely insane. All right. Last thoughts on Bill and Ted.
I mean, awesome. Overall, so awesome.
Excellent?
Excellent. Most excellent.
Most excellent, yeah.
It was, it was the sincerity, there was no cynicism, there was no sarcasm, there was purity and innocence, especially to the third one. I mean, not more so the third one, but I was more surprised by it,
Yeah.
especially something that came out in such a terrible year.
Yeah.
Something just uplifting and positive and just not sarcastic at all.
Yeah.
Just so sincere.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
There's a good New York Times interview with Keanu from over the summer when the third movie came out. And that's what it was all about for them. It was just this kind of an exemplifying kind of a positive male dynamic or something, Anyway, this is super sweet. Oh, look. Here, this is about to drop. Oh! Did you guys see that? Yeah, these sweet chess clocks. Otherwise, Simpsons. Check out the Simpsons father and son chess episode. It's pretty fun. Were you saying that you don't like it when Homer just kind of they reflect back on?
Well, there's this thing in the Simpsons, in modern Simpsons, where I feel like every episode of modern Simpsons I've seen, Homer just happens to be a genius at something. He's just he's a genius. He's an amazing lacrosse player all of a sudden, or he's an amazing hairdresser, or he's an amazing cake chef. And I feel like back in the day that would happen a couple times.
I remember when he was an artist. Remember, and the whole town got flooded or something.
But then it would be that would be the thing. It would be a subversion of Homer. Mm-hmm. And nowadays it's that's not a subversion because that's what he does every episode.
Is that he and Abe? He really is a chess expert.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense that Homer is amazing at everything. He's supposed to be an idiot.
And how did that tie into the B story or whatever with Lisa and Bart?
Lisa's hat.
Yes.
That was a little weak.
Mm-hmm. And Bart's ego or his guilt or something?
Yeah.
His, what was that?
It felt
Shame?
very big mouth to me.
Right. What's that?
It's that Netflix show where they're kids in middle school and they're going through puberty and there's the hormone monster, which is it manifests in the same way. It talks to them, oh, punch that kid in the face or whatever. And then there's the shame vampire or something, the shame wizard, and he manifests too, and they feel shame, and he talks to them and he makes them ashamed.
The trope of sort of exemplifying conscious or something like that, or something with a miniature being or a large being or some kind of being that only you can see but it talks to you directly. I wonder if, the fact that that's such a common trope makes me wonder if some people actually experience a certain amount of a voice. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, but generally speaking, even when I was a teenager and hormones were trying to tell me what to do, they weren't literally telling me what to do.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a lazy way for it to physically manifest. They can't. It's a non-subtle way for them to express that your guilt is telling you X, Y, or Z.
So there was a little chess in Bill and Ted 2. Yep. There was a little chess in this George Clooney movie I watched last night. Oh crap, do you remember what the name of that movie is? Hey Siri, what's the name of that new George Clooney movie on Netflix? Oh.
Sorry, I can't help you with Netflix.
Wow, neither of those are helpful. Hold on.
The Midnight Sky?
Yes, I've got to give that a middle thumb. It was, it wasn't a total thumbs down, but it was chock full of tropes and stuff, and
Something Sky?
yeah, Something Sky. It was great. I love Clooney. I love to watch him on the screen, even when he's old and crazy, or young and less crazy, or bearded, or whatever. And it was good, but I was a little disappointed. Anyway, a little bit of chess in that movie. Check it out if you want. Next week, as I said, it's probably just gonna be me. I might play myself, which I've never done before, but I know like a lot of chess people do play themselves, or they play games through that they're familiar with, kind of replay them physically. So I think on Saturday morning next week, I'm going to watch that Pixar short with the old guy playing chess against himself, which I've never seen. And I don't really know what the premise or the gist of it is. I'm going to watch that, and then I'm going to sit down here, play against myself, talk about something. Is there a chess movie I should throw in for myself next week?
Movie.
All right, I'll talk about the Pixar movie. So it'll be short. I'll try to come up with something else, like interesting side to talk about. And and we'll be back with Indy in February, in 2 weeks, to continue our larger bracket, our larger year-long, month-to-month. Well, it doesn't matter, because so far each month we've ended up a tie.
I know.
So, anyway, we'll figure all that out. Lots of love. Roasted Chessnuts, we did post on YouTube last week, and we did start our Facebook last week. So, Roasted Chessnuts, the Roasted Chessnuts on YouTube, Roasted Chessnuts on Facebook. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Logic Engine. Thank you, Couch Goblin. And thank you, Stealth X. Stealth. Lots of love.
Stealth X Stealth?
Yes. And also X Stealth X.
Yeah, both of them.